everyone! For the people who are new on my channel, my name is Marieke and I'm 25 years old. I'm an illustrator and graphic designer, and in October 2019 I started my own business called SoPixel. Today I'm going to teach you how to prepare for a drawing challenge. To show you how to organize your ideas and sketches, and I'll show you how to plan everything so you can make it to the end of the challenge. This tutorial is for all ages and levels, and if you have any questions, just ask them in the comments below. Before we jump in, I want to explain what a drawing challenge is. First of all, I want to tell you that there are no rules. You can approach it any way you like, but these are just the steps that work well for me personally. And if anyone has a good tip, feel free to share it in the comments below with us. The idea is that you make a drawing every day for 30 days. You base yourself on the word that is on the drawing challenge that day. You choose how you want to approach the challenge, so everything is allowed but nothing is required. For example, when you want to draw a pizza, then draw a pizza. Does the word pizza remind you of a hell of a big pizza party? Then draw a hell of a big pizza party. Let's get started now. I'm very excited and I hope you're too. So you're going to look at the drawing challenge that you get in front of you, and you're going to pick a few words that you want to brainstorm ideas from. So I'm going to pick in the air, and pizza. And I'm just going to pick those two words for this video to brainstorm about. So I wrote down the words, and now I'm also going to write down the words that I think about when I think about the words in the air and the word pizza. So let's start with in the air. Let's see, I think about a helicopter maybe. And maybe some clouds. Ooh, and the witch. A witch on a broom with her cute kitty. And oh, a kite. I love kites. Okay, so let's just keep this one on 4 ideas. Let's move on to the next one. Pizza. Let's see. I think of a pizza party, like I mentioned before. And the delivery driver. Oh, and maybe the pizza ingredients, how to make the pizza. Okay, that should be enough for now. So if you want to brainstorm some more, you can pause the video here, but I'm just going to continue with the next step now. So now that we have our words down, we're going to decide what we're going to draw about. You can put a little heart behind it or a circle. I'm just going to choose for this example the kites. I'm going to put a little heart here. Just make sure that you can clearly see which word you're going to work with. If you have several ideas that you want to work out, you can also mark them as well. So with the pizza part, I'm going to choose the pizza ingredients. I think that's a fun idea. Maybe draw the word pizza and then put the ingredients around them. That would be something fun. And the kite, I was thinking about maybe making a shot of how we see the kite when we look up. So I also like the idea delivery driver. So I'm also going to put a circle around that one. But for now, I'm just going to keep it on the kite one and the pizza ingredients. We're going to keep the paper close by so we can look back to it when we need to. On to the next step. So now we're going to search for our reference material. We're going to do this so we have a bit of an idea how our final piece is going to look like. You don't have to draw what's in the picture, but we want to create the same feeling in the drawing. We really just want to get some inspiration and feel for the piece that we want to create. I already searched some reference photos on the internet, but you can search them anywhere you like. In books, maybe on Pinterest, magazines, yeah. Everywhere you can find some pictures that inspire you for your piece. So I'm just going to work with these pictures for today. Let's start with the kite ones. So now we're going to make the mood boards. Of course you first have to search them, but I skipped that part. And here are the results of the pictures I got. You can choose as many or as less pictures as you want to make a mood board of it. So I picked 4, and what I liked about it was in this picture I can see the different shapes and forms there are for kites. And I took this picture because it has a really traditional feel to it, so I really like that. And this picture I chose because of the colors that are in there. I really want to use the colors in my piece. And here is some detailed work that I want to use as decoration for the kite. So yeah, that's a bit of the idea I have right now, but we'll get further in this in the next step. So let's make the mood board right now. I'm going to paste them on the paper here. So, and now we have our mood board. Let's glue the corners. So if you have any comments to put on your mood board, you can also write that down. Like for instance, the perspective I want to create. Is really like when you're looking up towards the kite. So I'm drawing that very simple here right now. Maybe I would like to make the kite in the shape of a bird. That would be pretty nice. So I'm also going to write that down. You can write down a note by each picture to know why you liked it. Like for instance, the additional feel. And here the decoration of the strings. Here I like the colors. And on the last picture, I like the variety of shapes. So I'm going to write that down. So that was it for this mood board. Let's move on to the other one. So this is the second mood board, so let's take a fast look over it. In this picture I really liked the colors actually, because those are the most common colors when you think of pizza. It's also the colors of Italy. So I'm going to write colors down. And I took this picture because I really loved how they wrote down all the words. I really loved the fonts that they used. Maybe we can use those in our final piece. So this picture I chose because I really like the simplicity of the ingredients. It's really shown in a playful way. Playful doodles. And I chose this picture because there's a lot of inspiration of all the ingredients on there that you can put on a pizza. So I'm going to write down full range of ingredients. Full range of ingredients. Okay, so that was it for this step. This is as simple as it can get. So let's move on to the next step. Okay, so now that we got everything, we can start with the thumbnails. So what is a thumbnail? It's actually the first idea you put on a paper, really tiny, with not much of detail. I'm usually very messy when I'm making these, but it's really handy to look back at them when you want to draw something new. So let's get started with the thumbnails. I'm going to take one last peek at my mood boards. And then I'm going to put them aside, because we don't want to copy the work of other people. We still want to make it our own thing. So that's why we put them away, so we can't copy them at all. Let's start with the thumbnail pizza. So we're making kind of a rectangle here, and the idea for the pizza ingredient thumbnail, I'm gonna write it down. So the first idea I had in mind for this thumbnail was to write down the word pizza really big in the middle of the rectangle. As you can see, I'm not really worrying about any details at the moment. I'm just writing it down in my own handwriting, so no worries here while making the thumbnail. So now I'm thinking about all the ingredients that you have to use to make a pizza, and what I really love on a pizza is the cheese. So I'm going to thumbnail that first. And I also like salami on my pizza. So I'm going to draw little round salami slices. And some hot sauce. And let's see. Yeah, we also need the tomato sauce still. So I'm not going to draw the sauce because I think that's kind of messy. I'm just going to draw the tomatoes because I think that's a lot more fun. So, okay, maybe give them something like this. They're hanging still together. And we also need some pizza dough. So I'm going to draw that while it's still rolled up. And I also like paprika on my pizza. So I'm going to draw one right here. And some mushrooms. And some onion. Okay, so that is my first thumbnail for now. I can always try something else. I can maybe instead of drawing the words, I can draw a pizza in the middle and fill it with all the ingredients. And then also put some ingredients around them and put the names of the ingredients with the doodles. So as you see, those are just some ideas. The word mushroom is way too long here, and I really would love it underneath the drawings of the mushroom. So yeah, it all has to be refined yet, but it's just to get your ideas down on paper and to finalize your final piece. So let's try to make some thumbnails for the kite right now. Just very loosely make some rectangles for those thumbnails. And I'm going to draw some ideas for the kite right now. So I had the idea to draw a kite in the form of a bird with lots of decoration on the strings. So I'm going to try to make that right now. So this is just a simple first idea. So let's move on to the next one. I also did some research about some Japanese kites. I don't know if they are really kites, but it actually are fish that are opening their mouth and the air is going inside of them, and they're also floating inside of the air. So I think they're called them kites. I'm not pretty sure, but I really love them, so I'm going to draw them in a way that there are a couple of them on one string. Very simply, very loosely. Totally no pressure with the thumbnails. And sometimes you fail, that's normal. Then you just move on to the next idea. So these are my drawings, and you can also make them on a bigger scale. When there's one that you really like, try to draw it again and give it more detail. Or you can think about some other styles or techniques you can use. Like, for instance, do you want to draw really cartoony or more with hand lettering and some simple doodles around it? Or maybe just really realistic things, because you want to develop those things. Okay, so I'm not going any deeper in this right now. Let's move on to the next step. So now we're going to choose what materials and colors we're going to use. You can just use a pencil or a pen and nothing else. Or you can just use colored pencils or markers, watercolor paints, or draw maybe on your tablet or PC. You can do whatever you like. My favorite medium is to use markers or watercolors as a base of my piece, and tend to finish it off with colored pencils. After you decided which media you want to use, you can choose your color scheme that you want to pick for your drawing. And maybe you already have some colors in your mood board that you can use. Like I had some colors on my kite mood board that I really would love to use. Maybe in this fish kite illustration would be really, really lovely. If you don't have a lot at home, try to be creative with the things that you do have. Make sure to try the colors on paper first, and maybe you can try some cross-hatching or stippling. I think it's best to first try out the colors on your thumbnails, before you go to your final piece, so you can avoid any regret of the colors that you picked. I usually scan my thumbnails first, so I can make sure I always have an original sketch left. So let's do some color preparation together. I already picked some colors in the color scheme that I wanted to use, as you can see. And let's try them out to see which one match best together. Let's start with the markers. I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath it. Because they're alcohol based, they bleed through the printing paper. So let's be conscious about that. So let's start off with the blues. Oh, this really, yeah, it's a bit darker, but I actually really like it. I think this one is going to be way too light. Yeah, I prefer this one. So just really simple, put some strokes down to look how the colors are on paper and see which one you like best. So I already did it with the blue one. I really like the dark one. So let's go on with the pink ones. I'm still thinking about if I should use a brighter one or not. So I'm still going to think about that one. Let's go on with the orange. That one looks perfect. So yeah, gonna put it with the blue one. And so we go on and on till we have all the colors we're happy with. So I'm still doubting which one of the pinks I should use, the brighter one or the other one. So what I usually do is I just put the colors next to each other. Very simple and fast. And then I put a pink next to it. And I'm going to do it again. With the other pink. And then I usually see which ones I like best. I actually don't like the bright one that much, so I'm going to pick the other one. So that is my choice for the base layer. Now I move on with my colored pencils for the detailed layers. So I also picked some pre-colors for the detailed layer. And we're going to do the same thing, just try them out on the paper with some simple strokes. I'm going to put them right here next to the other ones. So now let's move on and test the colors on the thumbnail. So as I already said, I'm going to start first with my marker base layer. I'm just really quickly making a thumbnail to see if the colors fit. And now I'm going to try to use the colored pencils over them. So yeah, and this is just a really quick example of how I usually tackle the color schemes and how the colors would match. I'm pretty glad with it. Maybe the blue is a bit too dark because it looks like it's night or something maybe. So I always can go back and choose a lighter blue and try to make this thumbnail again with a lighter blue. So, and that was it, guys. I really hope you liked watching this tutorial and that you learned a lot from it. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye!